David, a round of applause. Praise be to Allah. Let us first start by saying, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, I bear witness that there is no God but Allah. I bear witness that Muhammad is his messenger. As students of religion and as human beings, we thank Allah for all of the messengers, all of the sages, all of the prophets, all of the scriptures that they brought. So we thank Allah for Moses and the revelation of the Torah or the Old Testament. We thank Allah for Jesus and his apostles and the revelation of the Injil or the Gospel, the New Testament. We thank Allah for Prophet Muhammad ibn Abdullah of 1400 years ago and the divine revelation of the Holy Quran. May the peace and blessings be upon each and every one of these worthy servants of Allah. But if we were to live to be 1,000, which we probably won't live that long, maybe, just depending on how we eat.
That's right.
We can never thank Allah enough for intervening in our affairs. And when I say our affairs, I mean black and brown people here in the wilderness of North America. In the divine person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. We thank him for raising up in our midst a messenger, Mahdi, exalted Christ, the eternal leader of the nation of Islam, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we thank them both for leaving in our midst, because we missed Master Fard Muhammad, and most of us in this room missed the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. But they were so merciful that they left one to remind us that God is present in the world. He's a divine reminder, a comforter, a warner to the nations, the Messiah in our midst. And that person of whom I'm speaking and whom I'm attempting to represent to you today is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. It is in their names that we greet you in the nation's greetings of peace. We say it in our original language, because English is not our original language. Is that right?
That's right.
Spanish is not our original language. None of these European languages that we speak are our original language. We say it in the original language of Arabic. We say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam, sir.
How's everyone feeling?
Fine, sir.
All praises due to Allah. I too am doing fine and feeling fine, striving to make my word my bond. And so glad to see each and every one of you. Now, today, we have a very powerful subject that we want to build upon. And it's entitled, The Dangers of Ignorance and Fear. The dangers of ignorance and fear. Now, where I got this, and I want you all to know that with regards to this work, I've never had an original thought in my life.
Go ahead, brother.
I'm gonna just be real with you. Everything that you hear, we got from either the most honorable Elijah Muhammad or the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
That's right.
So, in the early 90s, and I'm gonna tell my age a little bit, I came into the nation in 1990.
Oh, come on.
So it's been 32 years since I've been in the Nation of Islam. All praises due to Allah. But in the early 90s, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan delivered a subject entitled, and listen to this, Ignorance and Fear are the worst enemies of oppressed people.
Come on.
I'm gonna say that again.
Come on. Yes, sir.
Ignorance and fear are the worst enemies of oppressed people. Now, I know many of you, if you're familiar with the Nation of Islam, y'all gonna say, man, what? I thought the white man was the enemy of the worst enemy of oppressed people and black people. And the white man definitely is our enemy. But he's not our worst enemy.
No.
Not by a long shot. He's definitely not our worst enemy. In fact, when we come to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he says to us that if we listen to him, and if we follow his guidance, the white man will become so insignificant that we will have to tie a string around our pinky finger just for us to remember that he even exists.
That's right.
Come on, come on, come on.
Right. Go ahead.
That's big.
That is huge.
So the minister said ignorance and fear are the worst enemies to oppressed people. Because ignorance, man. Well, let me ask y'all this question. Does anybody know what ignorance is?
Yes, sir.
What's ignorance?
Don't know nothing.
Don't know nothing. That's a good definition.
Come on, bro. That's right. Go ahead.
That's a good definition. Let's break it down because we want to be sure. Because if we want to know if we're gonna fight against our enemy, we have to know our enemy. Is that right?
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So, yes, sir, big
I
brother.
say the absence of wisdom. Also.
The absence of wisdom. I like that. Thank you,
Like that
brother.
too. Yes, sir.
So let's break down ignorance. By definition, according to Mr. Webster, ignorance is the lack of knowledge, understanding, or education. The state of being ignorant. That's Mr. Webster.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Webster's real shallow though. I just gotta say it. So the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us that when we talk about words, we gotta go to the root of words, right? To really understand what's being said.
Come on.
So the etymology, which is the root of a word, of ignorance, is from the Old French, ignorant, which again means lacking wisdom, knowledge, unaware. Latin, I should say something different. I should say ignorantum. Ignorantum is the Latin. But mistake, misunderstood, take no notice of, pay no attention to. The root word is ignore. So listen. So when we talk about ignorance, we're talking about shades of meaning to words. It's not just I don't know. I mean, that's definitely part of it. But when we say the root word is ignore, that now we're talking about taking no notice of, not paying attention. So a person who's ignorant, it's not that they don't have access to the knowledge. It's not that someone has not shown them the way. They have an action that they're committing where they are actually ignoring what's been shown. Think that over now. When we talk about ignorance and fear. Fear, we're gonna break apart fear today. Fear, let's go right into it. Fear is an unpleasant emotion caused by being aware of danger, or a feeling of being afraid, or a feeling of respect and wonder for something powerful. Now that first one, an unpleasant emotion caused by being aware of danger. Look, about a month ago, there was a car that came through my business
Yeah.
during business hours, and I have a barbershop, and the sight of a car in the shop while we're cutting hair evoked this unpleasant emotion. You dig what I'm saying? Like, I was literally fearful. Can't front. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was scary. That's a form of fear. But the other definition, a feeling of being afraid or a feeling of respect and wonder for something powerful. Now, with that, we're talking about the fear of God, right? So the scripture says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge.
Come on.
But fools despise wisdom and instruction. Right? The fear of God is the beginning of knowledge. Fearing, in fact, when we come into the nation of Islam, one of the first things that we're taught is that we fear nothing or no one but God. Straight up. That's what makes being a Muslim so powerful. Because fear really don't move us. We're going to encounter it like I did that day. But when we encounter it, we face it. And we overcome it. Is that right?
That's right.
But this fear that the enemy uses is an unpleasant emotion caused by being aware of danger. That's the fear that the enemy uses. So ignorance, just not knowing, and fear of what somebody could do to you, will motivate you to move in a way that you ordinarily wouldn't move.
Come on, come on, come on.
Right? We're facing that right now.
Come on.
But here's what I want you to realize. Here's another, this is an acronym for fear. False evidence appearing real.
Come on, teach.
Now this is really what the devil uses in order to motivate us to do what he wants us to do. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Think this over now. Now, I'm not gonna be long, but I'm gonna run through this, and we're gonna give y'all some material today. You're gonna learn something today. Like Brother David said, you're gonna learn today. Something. And that's our goal. If we stand up here and we just spitting words, man, you know, that's just vanity. But the important thing about this particular meeting and coming to the Nation of Islam is that you're going to learn something that is going to help you in your life.
Come on.
Now, right now, we're in a, we're gonna go here today. We're in a pandemic, is that right?
That's right.
We all got these masks on. All praises to Allah. And part of it is because while we're moving, the way that we're moving is based upon fear. But it's also based largely upon ignorance. And what I mean by that is the devil is really telling us the truth if we listen. But he masks it with lies. But if we really listen, he's telling us the truth, right? So, it didn't just start with COVID though. They've been doing this for a long time.
Come on, brother, come on.
They've been really gearing us up. COVID is like, almost like the grand finale.
Come on.
But they've been gearing us, they've been moving us with ignorance and fear for a very long time. Now, I'm gonna take y'all back. Just go back with me in your memory to 1999.
Come on.
Most of us in this room are old enough to remember 1999 and the fear tactic that was used in 1999 going into the year 2000. It was called Y2K. There it is, brother. They used ignorance and fear. They said the lie was, it was a straight up lie, that the computers weren't going to be able to process the next year from 1999 going into 2000 because somehow they couldn't read zeros.
Come on. Come on.
So they had people running to the stores, buying generators and bottled water and stocking up on food, canned goods, the whole nine. Because once it hit 2000, man, the world was just gonna go nuts. Now, of course, we understand, did not happen, right?
That's right.
It did not happen. Matter of fact, nothing consequential happened on that day. But they banked upon our ignorance. It was like a dry run. The next one that they used came, just a short time later, and they called it 911.
Come on.
The terror attacks of September 11th. 911. Where all of us, and we can all remember where we were on that day when we witnessed airplanes going into the World Trade Center, and subsequent to that, those buildings falling down. And of course, they blamed it on Osama bin Laden, and they blamed it on Saddam Hussein. I don't know how they did that. But they started a war in Iraq and Afghanistan and this and that and the third, all based upon false evidence appearing real. And just to get you all to really understand how, because some of us believe, y'all think that I'm up here talking crazy, that this is a conspiracy theory, that 911 was real, that we were really attacked, right? We were attacked, but it wasn't by no foreign government.
That's right.
And some of us just can't believe that these people would be that wicked to where they would bomb their own buildings.
Come on.
Field 3000.
But black people, man, we really, black and brown people, we really should understand that these people are really that wicked. They're even more wicked than that. Hell, we here because of a conspiracy.
Come on.
They kidnapped an entire people.
Come on.
Is that right?
Come on.
That's right.
Come on.
They took everything from us. You don't think they're capable of bombing their own building and killing just 3,000 people? Oh, that happened. So we saw those buildings go into the World Trade Centers, and we saw them come down. But are you all familiar with, just to drive home the point, Building 7? Does anyone know what happened with Building 7? Now, Building 7 was a building that did not get hit by anything. There were some fires in it, but it collapsed in a very controlled implosion, just like the first two World Trade Centers, the same way that those first two did. It just straight up collapsed. And they said it was caused by fire and whatever, but there's no real evidence that pointed to that. And I'm gonna just show y'all, just to make sure y'all believe me, because false evidence appearing real, we're gonna give you some real evidence. So just take a look at this. This is Building 7. So you see a little fire in there. This is actual footage. So that's it. That's it. So I mean, do you all see what I'm talking about? Like, this is a building that they said had a fire in it, but it just collapsed. That does not happen. Engineers and architects look at this and be like, what? Buildings aren't designed, especially skyscrapers, to just fall. The only way that happens is if there is a controlled implosion.
Yes, sir.
That bombs are set off in the building to cause it to collapse that way. Now, this is just part of the greater conspiracy that leads us right now to where we are with COVID-19. Now, again, it's about ignorance, right? It's about ignorance and it's about fear. If we don't know, they could tell us anything. They could tell us any damn thing.
That's right.
And we gonna G for it because, we can't imagine that the enemy will be that wicked. And the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said about Satan, he said, you cannot fathom the depths of Satan. We're not even capable of thinking how wicked this man actually is. We're just not.
Come on.
So with the vaccine, and with COVID-19, they have told us all sorts of lies.
Yes, sir.
From the gate. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, from the gate, has been telling us, don't take their vaccines. He has told us, don't let them vaccinate you. With their history of treachery using vaccines and through medicine, don't let them vaccinate you. You don't have to turn it, Brother Ansar. We're going to put all this in. So, how did he know? How did the minister know? How did the minister know that in July 4th, 2020, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave an address called The Criterion, where he told us, don't take their vaccines. Where he told us that they would not be able to beat COVID-19. He told us that it would mutate. He told us that it would come up with different variants. He told us that whatever vaccine they came up with, don't take it. Because what they're doing is something way more sinister than trying to vaccinate you or try to inoculate you from a virus. He told us that. He said there's other therapies that you could take. And he gave instruction to our black scientists and virologists and epidemiologists to come up with different strategies and come up with different therapies that we could take to where we wouldn't have to subject ourselves to their vaccine or so-called vaccine.
Come on.
Yes, sir.
Because what they were giving us, man, is not a vaccine at all.
Teach.
I gotta tell y'all that. What they're giving us, we call it a experimental so-called vaccine. Because it's not a vaccine at all. Remember, ignorance and fear, they're gonna tell you what it is if you really listen. They told us, but we weren't listening, that especially with regards to Moderna and Pfizer, that these aren't vaccines. They call these mRNA vaccines, messenger RNA vaccines, right? And the devil is so deceptive that he literally changed the meaning of the word vaccine in order for us to take what they're calling a vaccine. I'm gonna say that again. They literally changed definitions. Y'all not hearing me.
Come on.
So look, a vaccine. We're gonna have a mini little science lesson today. just a mini one. A vaccine is a substance that prepares the immune system to fight a disease-causing germ or other pathogen by imitating an infection. They introduce a killed microbe into the body, and the body responds by producing antigens, right? So the way to end the most